Hey everybody, and welcome back to another live stream night. Sorry, pretty much supposed to go last week, Monday, but I ended up getting sick all weekend, and then I pretty much been sick all week last week. Sorry, I feel better this past weekend, and then we were going live. We were going to go live last night, but with the storm stuff we had here, and other people that was on live with me, they kind of had some storm issues. Well, we have freezing rain here. So kind of messed with the internet connection, everything else. So couldn't go live yesterday. So we are here today. Basically, when I'll be joining us tonight, she's not feeling too well. So our thoughts with her. So says she's not here with us tonight, but she is here with us in spirit. And of course, Mr. Donnie, he'll be in late today. Might be a little late. So, but we're kind of shoot for probably like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending. But pretty much. We're going to shoot for about an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour tonight. And then I do got some news to let you guys know. Of course, my what if stories. I do have it. Like I said, I kind of already just finished it. Like I said, I was sick all last weekend, so we have time to do my voice recording and anything else. Because I mean, with me not really feeling well and everything else, my voice just wasn't the same. But I do have. I'm actually going to be using a like a voice changer. I've been kind of experiment with different voice changers, see what the best one is. I kind of got one I do like. I might use that for the first one. So like I said, but I'm hopefully it'll be out sometime. I'm shooting for sometime next week. I know it was supposed to be here last week, must be getting sick and everything else. And then this week was kind of up in the air a little bit too. So yeah, so it's kind of waiting on that. So, but yeah, for sure it'll be out sometime next week. I'm really excited for it. Like I said, my first what if stories like that. Like I said, kind of go with the Halloween franchise, what if stories. I do kind of like that scenario. And what my thoughts is, what could how the story would play out. If I change this a story, how would this happen? Or if I did this, how would this happen? So it's kind of it's pretty awesome to do these what if stories. So, but without further ado, we're going to be talking about 1408. I've watched it last week, and my thoughts on 1408, it was all right. It was an okay movie, in my opinion. It was good. Just kind of, I guess, kind of in a way, in my opinion, kind of dragged a little bit too much with certain scenes and everything else. But I was kind of me. I kind of like the in your face a little bit more, there. But that's just my opinion. But again, actually, it was actually a pretty good movie. I actually enjoy it. When it comes to Stephen King movies. Or basically the books like that. My top favorite was always going to be Silver Bullet, Secret Window. Those are my big top two of the It films, or not the It film, but the Stephen King films. Like I said, Silver Bullet, Secret Window, of course. It, and then I didn't mind Dreamcatcher. I just wish that Dreamcatcher would be more focused on the book instead of the movie, because the movie just kind of did too much of the military shit, which I didn't quite care for. I really did more towards the book. That's my opinion, though. But again, we'll go ahead and get started talking about 428. So without further ado, let me invite my guests on. And of course, you all know and love him. And I believe he is part of the Celtic heritage. And y'all know and love him, Mr. Aaron.
Hey, Shape, thanks for having me. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling well, buddy. I know that it seems like stuff's going around as well as
dude.
Still hasn't been good.
I'm sorry, no, I've been fighting this sinus infection for 2 months now. I just can't see. Even me going antibiotics, I just can't shake it, and it's been this way. And then last week, I started getting the chills and the fevers and stuff, and then I ended up getting a sore throat on Sunday, and my throat was all fucking sore and shit. And then going through the whole week, finally Thursday, I kind of got a break in my sore throat. It kind of stopped. And they kind of went away, and then Friday, Saturday, and then I took Friday off just to rest and recuperate more, had to get more sleep. And I did that, and I actually started feeling better Friday, and then I of course went back to work Saturday, and then Sunday. Then of course Sunday I was feeling sick again, nauseated, headaches, really lightheaded. But that was because we had some material that had sulfur in it. So sulfur, and of course we got the doors closed because it's cold. Really much insulation in the building and stuff. So yeah, so we had some of that sulfur and really kicked my ass. Pretty much everybody's ass.
No kidding.
Breathing that sulfur. I mean, I had a mask. I even had a mask on, even with the mask and all the dust.
Still, you're
and all
still
that stuff,
there,
yeah. It was
dude.
terrible. But like I said, if I find a little better, hopefully my sinus will go away because like I said I'm still coughing up green crap or everything else to spin all that out. So that's still kind of it. But I mean, I'm feeling better. I don't feel as fatigued and tired like I was all last week. So
That's good, man. I don't envy the job that you have having to do all that, but I'm sure like it's important to the infrastructure that we have here. You know, got to get that stuff sorted somehow,
yeah.
and then back into circulation. Like that sucks.
Yeah. I wish I had more circulation at work and stuff. I mean, summertime's always good because we have doors open and stuff and everything else. But man, like, even after work, man, I'm like blowing my nose, so I got black crap coming out of my nose and stuff, and I'm covered in dirt and dust, and especially sometimes if I'm at Roby a lot, like my Roby, if I'm running in, I'm in there a lot, like messing with the stuff, whatever. I come out looking like freaking Darth Vader, man.
Jeez. Yeah, like you've been in the coal mine or something. Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Dude.
But also, we also have our next guest on. He said we're a little late, but looks like he's here kind of on time. And you all know and love him. Is none other than he actually recommended this movie to us, and I do a live on this. And like I said, I always encourage all you guys. Like I said, if you guys want to have a topic you guys want to talk about, if you guys want to watch a movie or whatever you guys want to talk about. Like I said, I'm not the only one that's like I said, even though this is my channel and everything else, I give you guys leeway and freeway of what you guys want to talk about. If you guys want to talk about certain things that you guys want to talk about, of course, I'll watch the movies. We'll watch them, and then we'll go and do a live together and talk about it and discuss it, whatever you guys want to do. So, well, so this is Donnie pick. Like I said, you got to pick for next week if you want to, or whatever you decide you want to do, just let me know, and then we'll get that taken care of. Without further ado, it's Mr. Donatello.
Hey, yo.
It is I.
Hey, buddy, how goes it?
What's
Besides
happening,
cold.
fellas? Yeah, right. Yeah. How you guys doing? How you feeling, Shape?
I'm feeling better. I said just like some of my science still, but that's about it.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say, because I heard you guys talking. Man, load up on orange juice if you haven't, man. I mean, you can never have too much vitamin C and help your white blood cells along.
Yeah, I take vitamin C.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you. I remember that now. I remember you saying that now. But yeah, that help your white blood cells, any way you can, especially at this time of year when they're a little bit on the low side anyway. Anything could help. Yeah. So you guys don't mind me. There's a Kobe. There's a short in the cable, so I'm gonna try to connect my headphones with the Bluetooth. So give me a second.
All right.
Yeah, it's actually been a hot minute since I've seen 1408. Like, I can't remember when, like, I think I was telling Donnie that I tried watching it on, like, FX, and I had seen one of the multiple endings that I'm pretty sure is the one that I ended up watching on YouTube, but then I tried watching like all of the four, and of course I like the one that has like more of a happy ending in spite of everything. But the one that I saw on YouTube I preferred as well. But we can get more into that. It's felt like so long since I've actually seen the movie, and it was better than what I remembered. And there's still like some stuff I thought was odd, but I mean it's a haunted like hotel movie, So I mean, not everything's gonna line up unless you probably like rewatch it and like notice the little details and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I've rewatched the movie enough to really kind of pinpoint the stuff that was like, okay, that was a weird creative choice, but I still enjoyed it. I thought that John Cusack was awesome in the movie, and then
John Cusack is always is an awesome actor. I like him.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And then for what limited? Oh, sorry, Shape.
Yes, yeah, because I watched it. I watched it last week Monday. I watched 1408. So I watched the one on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. It's just because there's so many different endings. I think it's like 5 or something.
I didn't see
And
5 then.
right. Like I think obviously you had to have like the Blu-ray or whatever. But when I had first suggested it to you, it was on TV. So I just watched whatever ending they were showing on TV, which I assume is the canonical, the one they showed in the theaters. The one that I saw on TV is the one that I remember the most. And then come to find out, the actual Stephen King, the actual story, none of the 5 endings that they made for the movie does the story actually end that way. So I think it was just one of those, let's just make as many different like creepy endings as we can. Like there was a movie called Unfriended, The Dark Web. I don't know if y'all ever seen that, but it really puts in perspective maybe why you shouldn't be on the internet. But
Yeah.
it had a few alternate endings on there that was like just I guess them just testing the crowd to see like what would be what garner a reaction. What's up, Miss Shape?
Go on, Mr.
Hi, Miss
Shape.
Shape.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
What it dooski?
So when I was watching, I said I do like that. I do like those type of stories where you have like the writers like that go into these haunted hotels and stuff like that, trying to write a book and stuff, the 10 haunted places of the world and stuff, which I do like those types of movies and stuff. But when it came to this one, it was kind of funny because it was kind of like he was like really, I mean, yeah, everybody knows who he is, but it's like he wasn't really well known because he went to that book site. There was nobody there. Like we call people like, damn, nobody really likes this guy. I mean, hell, Dr. Loomis and Halloween 2 got more freaking people on his book line than this guy did.
I think it's because he was past his prime. Like you know how in the 80s everybody was flocking to get a Stephen King book off the shelf. He wrote some shit today. I don't know that anybody would be running out to get it. You know what I mean? That's no knock to him. I'm just saying, times change.
Yeah.
And I mean, he did have a fan that like pulled from one of his like older stories that he actually enjoyed writing versus just catering to like the horror fan base that enjoyed it obviously enough to come see him, but not enough to like tell their friends like, hey, you got to read this book.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like,
speaking of which, have you guys seen Misery before?
I actually haven't seen Misery.
I've seen bits of
Really? So that's one of those movies where you should probably read the book because it's completely different than the actual movie is. Like obviously everybody knows the most infamous scene from that movie is her hobbling him, breaking his ankles with the sledgehammer and all that shit. In the book, that never even happened. So, but I guess it was less graphic than what happened because she cut his foot off in the book, which that seemed like that punishment doesn't seem like it fits the crime, but the his publishers kept trying to get him to write the story. We want you to tell us what happened in that house. And he was like, I'm never writing about what happened in that house. Like, not only would it, like, did it almost kill me, but it wouldn't be fun to relive none of that, And,
Right.
He kept saying to them, like, no, I'm not. And in the book, there's more of an emphasis on it. In the movie, it's kind of like a last scene for the movie ends, where they're like, oh, well, what actually happened? Why don't you talk about it, And he's like hallucinating and he still sees Annie Wilkes. Like he's hallucinating in the restaurant. He sees other people as her, the waiters walking around with knives and stuff. So he sees her and stuff. And then he just looks kind of at his publicist and he's like, no, nothing. It's kind of like what's the doctor's the doctor from Jurassic Park, Dr. Grant. Remember in Jurassic Park, they were trying to get him to go back to Isla Sonar, and he was like, "No force on heaven or earth can get me on that island." Right? So they, they knocked him out and took him to the island. Right? But same thing. He was like, "Man, I'm not."
Wait, they knocked him out? I thought they gave him like all this money. He's like, I'll take it.
No, remember they kept trying to offer him the money, but he kept saying no. So then they were gonna take it for their like the restoration, how they were getting the fossils and stuff, like to fund that. But remember that when they got there, that's when they started talking about, oh, we're gonna land. And he was like, we cannot land on this island. And like when he stood up, the guy hit him in the back, and knocked him out. That I'm saying that's then they landed on the island. That's when they started setting up the perimeter, and they got on the plane when they heard the dinosaur roar, and that's when you saw the fucking dude Cooper came running out like waving and shit, and the Spinosaurus came out and ate him. It's not funny. I'm sorry.
At least it didn't actually happen. Like
we don't know.
It's true.
I think
we're not really in the know.
Well, I believe there's one movie that Stephen King based book. It's called The Dead Zone.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that one.
You gotta see The Dead Zone. It's got what's his name? He's a guy. He's the guy who plays in The Prophecy. What's his name?
Oh,
hang on.
Prophecy cannot be taken by those whom it's not for. Why did Voldemort need me to come get this?
Let me see here. Oh, Christopher Walken.
Hmm.
Yeah, The Dead Zone's got Christopher Walken. Now that's a good movie right there.
In my mind, when Aaron is old, he's going to be Christopher Walken. Just
thanks.
I mean, shit, he got bread. Like,
yeah, he's gonna be in the next Dune movie. So, but
what?
That's good. But like, one of the things that like I didn't quite like piece together that I thought was kind of odd about 1408, rather than being a haunted room and everything, but like why the ghosts were like the lines on like the TV, kind of like the Ring or something like that, you know what I mean? Like they still had like that image, but the more like I'm trying to like play it in my mind, because the TV is the first thing that shows him like his daughter and everything like that, which is like also messed up. That's like, but the room is haunted, so maybe it's showing him what could be his fate, you know what I mean? That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
You talking about how the ghosts of the previous people that died in there are like holographic looking?
Yeah.
I think that was like a movie's illustration of showing you the people that had died before him, like how we talked about with the Harry Potter thing, the whole like red and green connecting like with every fight. Like that's not a thing that actually happens. That's just an aesthetic for the movie. I think that might have had something to do with that, because what it did was it showed you different people from different different points in time when they had died, going all the way back to the 30s or whatever it was, you know what I mean, up until, I'm not sure how many years it had been since they had rented the room to somebody, but but you saw a timeline, like a lapse in time of where, like the first person that died in there, stockbroker in the 20s, all the way up to the 1990s or whatever, the different way people dressed and how they looked and the different ways that they died, like, because I think to me, aside from the room, the most eerie shit in the movie is when Olin is giving him the book and he's explaining all the shit that happened.
Yeah, that.
Like, to me, that's the most eerie part of the whole thing, because he was like, when he was talking about the dude drowned in the soup, and he was like, how? It's an evil.
The dude that tried to sew himself like back shut. That's nuts.
Like the maid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who had blinded herself with the scissors. Like, that's what I'm saying. When he said they weren't in the room for what, 5 fucking minutes, and that happened. Like like, you know, and I thought it was a good like commentary on how black people just don't do haunted shit was when the maintenance guy came.
Oh yeah.
I know where the hell it is. I'm not going in this room. Like
Yeah, that I was like, yep, probably the smartest dude other
in the
than
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
other than Samuel L. Jackson's character, because he tried. He was just like, hey, I'm telling you, and then not buying it. Like, I will say one of my favorite lines that John Cusack delivered. He was just like, because he questioned like the cigarette behind his ear, and he's like, oh, it's just kind of such and such. He's like, well, do you drink? And he was like, did you not just hear me? I'm a writer. I was like, that's funny.
The and the cigarette was kind of like a celebratory thing. Now that I think about it, Paul had a celebratory cigarette in Misery too.
Hmm.
But when he got done, yeah, like so it's funny how that works. Like, you know, it's like a trope. I mean, and so I think that like I can't remember what it was. I think it was before he gave him the book or you know with the files of everybody that had died in the room. He's sitting there and he's like he's telling him all this stuff and he's telling him like you know so don't go in the room and he like gave him some of the French alcohol that he had. You know, he's like, oh, that's good. And he was like, so like, do we have a deal? And he's like, I still am gonna go in the room. God damn it! Like,
Yeah.
he's
But
trying to.
my thing with about the whole, I guess, my concept about the 1408 is like the room doesn't kill you; it just makes you want to kill yourself.
I agree and disagree because the room tried to fucking drown him. So the room can't kill you. You know.
And I was also surprised, like as soon as he lit the fire, like why the room didn't like activate the sprinklers again. Which I mean they did, but I mean I guess it wasn't powerful enough. But I mean, I don't know.
Well, you gotta think about it, like, you know, if like when we were at school, the sprinkler system wasn't gonna come on this side of Jeff Jr. because the fire was on the other side. You know, it's a proximity thing, but it didn't happen until the backdraft when he threw the glass at the window and the backdraft happened.
Right.
But it set the rest of the room on fire. But I think that to me that's one of the coolest like turning points because in my head the room is just sentient, it's alive. You know, like everything that's it. That's all there is to it is it's alive. Like it's evil, but it's alive. And the shit that got me was like one of the best like turning points is how at the end how he like musters through it. You know what I mean? Because could you imagine like you know like
No.
you're resilient enough to not kill yourself, right? But you got to sit here and you are stuck in basically purgatory
Yeah.
Hmm.
for the next 60 minutes. And
Hey,
then when that shit,
I'll be right back, guys. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah. It
when it goes
reset.
back, that's what I'm saying. When it goes back to 60 minutes, it starts all over again. And you know, like the worst part about that is the way it's going to break down because it's going to start off all calm, couple jitters here. You might hear something knock over there. And then it's going to go from that to full on trying to murder you. You know what I mean? Like, I agree with what Shape was saying. Like, you know, at some points it seemed like, you know, it did drag, but I think because the movie is already only like an hour and a half, they needed more content so you wouldn't get a movie that's, you know, 63 minutes. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, I almost like I from what I remember, it was a short story of Stephen King's, right?
Yeah,
But like
but it's called
I
14.
I could have seen it being almost like a limited TV series, and then it could like really delve into it. Though it's short, like it could go almost like an anthology, but show each person that entered the room, not all 56 people, because sometimes it'd probably be quick, but like you know what I mean, like the
Yeah,
really in-depth ones or something like that. I could see that happening
yeah,
because
yeah.
it is
But see,
intriguing.
but I think too that brings in some of the mystique about it. You don't know what the fuck is power in this room, and if you see a bunch of like origin points of it, if you will, that might take away some of the ambience of it just being a sentient room that is just literally there to kill. You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
Like
what
the house in The
it's like
Shining.
it's like yeah, it's like what me and it's like what me and Anthony and Conrad was talking about last year with like the whole thing with Nope. And we was talking about how everybody everybody sat it there and fucking pretty much I haven't met one person yet that dislikes Jaws. You know what I mean? As a film, right?
Hmm.
You know, my mom might be scared to go to the beach, but that doesn't mean she disliked the movie, right?
Hmm.
But Jaws was nothing more but a killing machine with fins. Like that's it. His sole purpose was to eat and kill. That's what sharks do. They're like you cannot overthink it as more than that. Oh, this is a shark that was sent, you know what I mean, by these people to come kill these. No, it's just a shark. That's what it does, right? So what I couldn't understand was how come then in Nope, everybody was so hot and couldn't like give that the chance that it deserved. Because here's the thing, my issue with that is like, oh fuck, like, uh, what's with the? It's not an alien based off of what you think an alien looks like, but
Hmm.
because none of us know what the fuck that looks like, we can't say that Jordan Peele's assumption of it is wrong. But what if Jean Jacket was just a murder machine? That's all his job was to devour anything in his path, which is what we saw it do. But then everybody want to hate on that. But then you love Jaws. It's like, but it's one was of the water and one was of the sky, but they did the same exact shit, and one is a masterpiece and one is completely panned. I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? It makes no sense to me. But my point being though, I think as the more and more I watched it, and like I could not believe that July is going to be 2 years since that came out already. But the
Jeez.
fact, right? Like the fact is, like the more and more you think about it, when you when you watch Nope and it makes sense to you and all this stuff, if he started if that movie ended up being 3.5 hours because he started explaining there's an alien race that can shapeshift and look like jellyfish and you know what I mean, there's one that goes to each planet in the Milky Way galaxy and all that, then it would get too preachy and then you'll be like, what is this? Like this is ass. Like
Baby shape.
just
Baby
hijack
shape
the
in the
show.
shadows. But yeah, I see what you're saying. You got to have like there can be over explanation, which like I think I had my favorite scene in uh the movie, and it was pretty much the the ending because he got shown. They're like, "Oh, do you want to have our express checkout service?" And then it just looks, sees a noose. He's like, "No." And then he comes back into the mirror, shows him, and then he's
Hanging.
nope.
That's what I was saying a minute ago about the turning point was
Mm,
that was to me I love that like turning point of the movie where you know he is like one of my favorite moments is when you know the desk calls and it's like, you know, Mr. Insland, your wife is on the way up, and she's like, you leave her out of this, you can't have her, I'm done
yeah,
arguing with you.
yeah, exactly. Like he was emotional, like how he like destroyed the little like mini fridge and everything like that. And then by the end of it, he was just like, "No, I'm gonna go out my way." Like I wouldn't say like he was defeated because I mean he ended up winning, but he was like, "There's no point in me getting angry." Kind of like you say, he's like, "I'm not arguing with you." He's like, "But I'm gonna do what I have to do."
Yeah, like, and you're not gonna like the shit. To me, the most trippy thing was when he went out on the window ledge
Yeah, that.
and he went to shimmy, and then there's no windows. Like,
Yeah, the hotel was like, the hotel was like, "Got you."
no, for real though. And then you had the crazy thing too was I couldn't understand. Is it just a room, just like pawning on? Because that's the thing. Like when people first get in the room, whatever it the room is basically like a living version of the potion of despair. So what the potion of despair did to Dumbledore when he drank it is basically what this room does to you. It's like you're haunted by like your worst
Yeah, and
memories and failings or whatever you want to say.
I
And
think. Sorry, I think that like that kind of like interlinks between like what you're saying and what Shape said. Like the room is what makes you like want to take your own life.
Yeah.
no, but I'm saying it's like with the. I mean, I agree with that. It's just what my question was does that mean that the hotel across the street or whatever it was is alive too? Because how else was his reflection being casted across the street? Remember when he was doing like this and he could it was him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That was right before he climbed out on the ledge.
I think that's more like in your head type thing. Like, I mean, like it was more in his head that he was seeing that. He's like, it's like the room was projecting like its own thing in his head. You know what I mean? I think that's what that was.
Because I mean, like
Which
how.
go ahead,
Sorry, Donnie. Well, how like the television, it immediately started broadcasting like footage of them. It's like did how the hell did a sentient like hotel room get that? Well, it's because it's preying on
Yeah.
it's
Or
preying
even
on
like
your like emotional
or even
weakness.
the laptop thing where he's talking to his wife and stuff.
Oh
And
yeah,
then,
that was nuts.
then like his own like his talking like I need you here. I love you. I miss you. Come here. I need you to come here.
Yeah.
Wait, come up here. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit.
That was crazy. And the whole time he's talking, like, no, but that feed isn't going through. It's just a doppelganger that appeared on the screen. And the crazy shit too was how she was like, "Oh, I'm
Smile
on my
factor.
way," and yeah, like that
Yep.
was fucking crazy.
That
Like,
was my favorite part that like slipped my mind as soon as Shape was like, "Yep, that." Because then you get to see like, yeah, John Cusack was like, he was the hero, but you got to see like those little glimpses of his performance where he's like, "I'm the bad
Yeah.
guy too, right here, right here." I like that type of stuff.
But see, I mean, like my favorite part of the movie was, in a way, it was like the ending where he had enough. He's like, well, if I'm going to die, you're going out too. When he got the set the whole place ablaze. But I like he just sat down,
the ashtray,
and lit that cigarette. It was like,
be quiet, you bastard. Yeah, like
yeah.
But see, that's what I'm saying, and they did great with that, like that effect as like the room is on fire. He knows he's about to burn to death, right? But it's like if I'm going out, you go, I'm taking somebody with me, right? Like, but that effect when you see what almost looks like blood running down the numbers of the door from the heat on the inside. It's black, it's the ink of the numbers, but it looks like it's blood, like almost a symbol, a symbolic death of the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
And
death by fire. Yeah.
and I remember, so the whole thing is that you remember him talking about like the whole thing of it's an evil room and all this and that. The whole theory behind that is that it's actually 1308, and the number 13 has always been an unlucky number. It's always been, you know what I mean, like don't pick this number. You don't want this number, kind of thing. Even casinos, kind of like you know what I mean. Like I've seen people, like especially black people, because black people love to say that they're not superstitious. Let a black person be in line.
I thought the number of the room was 1408.
I know.
Yes, but what
I'm
he's
explaining that.
yeah.
Like, so talking about like the superstitious shit though. I know my mom told me she don't believe in superstitions, black cats and and rabbits' feet and all that shit. Let something ring up at the counter $6.66 though. She'll buy something else so it's not that number. You know what I mean? Like, and he was telling him in the elevator, there's no 13th floor. because they didn't even want to look at the number 13.
But there is.
Right. 1408 is 1308.
Yeah.
They did. There's not a space in the hotel where there's nothing there, and the elevator just goes past that. It's that floor. The 1400 floor
Yeah.
is the 1300.
Just because they're like, yeah, there's nothing. It's like, but this is that, and they're like, nope.
It's like when
Don't
hotels
acknowledge it.
like when big hotels, like on the room 666, they'll change it. It'll go from 665 to 667 or something like that. There is no 666 kind of like, but he was telling him that in the elevator there is no 13th floor, but when you factor in 13, the sinister reality behind the number, it kind of it makes it even that much more creepy.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I think that it's not. When I first saw that movie, my mom first showed it to me. We were watching it on TV, whatever. This was like 2007 or 8, like right when it came out. And I don't know, man. Like at the time, that movie fucked me up because in my mind, like I was gonna be somewhere in my lifetime, and the room was gonna kill me like that. Like, but like you overthink stuff when you're a child. So
Well, I mean, like
13.
there like he brings up the point like when he has the recorder
Kobe.
and everything like that, and he was like, it's like how many people were here, how many people lost their minds and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. When he pulled out the black light and it's just blood everywhere. Like
Blood.
that's what I don't like about staying in hotels, man. That shit is
I
creepy.
always, I didn't like it. Like he's like he drugged me. This is
Yeah,
whiskey.
yeah.
He drugged me. He did it to me.
Yeah, no, yeah, because he had the whiskey bottle. He was like,
But I mean, see, that was also smart because he was trying
really
to
was, yeah.
rationalize it, and then like, because I couldn't remember if like I saw him drink either. I was like, okay, that's a smart character. He's trying to piece together, but then
But then you have those characters where, or you just have those people in general where everything has to make sense. Like some shit can't just be because it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, like with my mom, like for y'all know Andre 3000 is my favorite rapper. Y'all know that he be saying some space age shit sometimes. If I try to explain it to my mom, it's just right over her head. She just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like it has to, like every little thing has to make sense. Like for you to compartmentalize it. But the fact that he thought that, but didn't Olin drink some too?
I think he
I
did.
honestly can't remember.
Like he wouldn't have drugged him if he drank some too. I'm not gonna give you some shit to kill you, and I'm gonna drink it too. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think he was gonna like poison him, but he probably thought that like he was hallucinating until the window then slammed on his hand, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this shit's real."
Yeah, the fact is, like, was that an eye looking back at him in the keyhole of the door?
I think it was.
Or was that supposed to be his eye?
I think it was an eye looking back.
You know what I'm talking about? Because he calls and he's like,
I'm not 100% sure. I think it was.
He's
I think it was an eye looking back at him.
He's like, I'm checking out. He's like, I'm hurt. I'm checking out. And when he tried to open the door, the fucking doorknob flew off in his hands. And when he tried to pick it, basically with that butter knife, he's looking through, and you see that eye kind of like moving around. Like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, it was funny when that happened. When that door handle came off, all I can see is that scene for Spider-Man where freaking Bonesaw is like, "I got you for 60 minutes," because of the time. They said, "I got you for 60 minutes. 60 minutes of big time." I was like, "Oh."
I got you for 3 minutes. Like, yeah, Randy Savage was buff as shit in that part of the movie too. Like,
yeah, it was. But I like it because it's like even though it kind of gives you like a loop too, because like you think he escaped, right? You think he got out of the hotel.
Yeah.
Or you thought it was like a dream because that wave came and knocked him out. he's like, he started coughing up the water, whatever. Like he kind of came to. You're thinking that was all just like a hallucinated dream. Like he just had a dream because he got knocked out on a surfboard and stuff. And he's talking to his wife, and he's kind of going around, seeing his dad and stuff, and everything else. He's like, oh, well, this is maybe this was it was like a little thing with it, right? And then all of a sudden, like, boom, we're back in the hotel. Like, oh shit, he never escaped.
And it's like, I know we all have those same issues. Like as people, you have dreams sometimes that are so fucking vivid. Like you wake up thinking whatever that was happening to you in the nightmare was happening for real. Like,
Yeah,
because it's so vivid that it appears that it's happening right there.
Yeah.
And I think that like I always thought that was kind of trippy. What's up, Larry?
Hey, Larry, how's it going? Says, what's up, fella? What's up, Larry? Nice to see you stopping by.
I always thought that was kind of crazy. Like the whole we're talking about the part where because Shape, like, he gets knocked out by the wave. The water literally comes out of the pitcher, which is crazy. And like he can hear like the Vikings and shit in the pitcher talking and stuff. The wave comes, knocks him out, right? He wakes up. So it knocked him into a hallucination, or not a hallucination even. It knocked him into like reliving some shit, because I knew something was up when I was watching that, and because I felt like, oh, he's waking up on the beach, but he was just in the room. So in my mind, I was like, he got out too easily. Like as a kid, I was like, he got out too easily. Then when he got to the post office to send the book, and the clerk at the post office, when I seen dude, I was like, wait, that's dude from the hotel. And sure enough, it cuts back, and then everybody just starts tearing down the walls and shit to the post office. And
and back to the "you are here." I'd been like,
yeah, no, for real. Like it like
I'd just start breaking shit, helping them tear it down. Like, yeah, okay, well, if we're gonna do this, I'm gonna have some fun.
It's so trippy.
But I mean, I liked how that like circled back to like his like quick like surfing incident. You know what I mean? Like, because then as soon as like that hits, you're like, oh, okay, it was just a dream. And then for him to like, I thought it was gonna be, because I didn't remember that part where like they destroyed everything. I thought that he was just gonna keep reliving that part of his life. Like he got into the surfing accident, goes to the hotel, and then as soon as the wave comes crashing, knocks him out, and then it starts that whole cycle over. Kind of like how you were talking about dying, like purgatory, because the room will let him relive stuff, go back to living a normal life, but the hotel will always draw him there, kind of thing.
I wonder too if, because every time the clock goes back to 60, like you knew some shit was up when he was sitting on the bed, and then boom, the clock just came on and started counting down, and then the numbers start going crazy, and even if it was on 24-hour time, there's no way it would have said no 60. So like you knew something was up then, right? But I'm saying, I wonder, do you relive the exact same 60 minutes, or does it, like, do you see different shit that has been a part, like haunted you of your past? Like, would like another 60 minutes omit the surfing shit that happened to him and be specifically about his daughter?
Maybe.
Would another 60 minutes be specifically about his bad relationship with his dad? Like, you know what I mean? Like, or is it the exact same thing every time it resets?
I don't know. I think like a reset line, but let's keep pushing like all that stuff into you, like all like the bad stuff, with his daughter, his wife, his dad, everything. We'll keep pushing until, I'm guessing, like, so basically it's like you use a timer. I'm like, hey, we got 6 seconds to live, or 60 minutes to live. If you can make it, well, guess what? We got to restart this time, and it basically was like counting down, like how long can you last in this?
How many 60-minute cycles can you take?
Yeah, until you off yourself.
Real shit. Like, so okay, so let's get into the different endings, because I missed. I'm I'm gonna bet that we might have all seen the same ending, but maybe not. So I'm really interested to hear this part.
So I'll go first. So the ending I got was where basically, okay, he burns down hotel and he basically dies in the hotel.
He
And
didn't
then
burn down the hotel. He burned down the room.
yeah, he burns down the room. Well, he basically dies too in there. And then you get the funeral, and then Samuel Jackson comes up and says, "Hey, he's got all the stuff that he was left. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
whatever if you want it." And she said, "No, I don't want it." And he's like, "Well, he was a hero. He saved the hotel. He destroyed that room, so no one else can go in that room." So yeah, so we're grateful for him. Like, nope, I don't want it. So okay, fine, whatever. He gets in the car and he looks in the rearview mirror and then he sees him
He
behind
sees
him.
Mike, and he's all burned and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, oh shit. You know, and he walks away, and then of course he drives off, and he goes back to the hotel in the window, and all of a sudden you see him with a cigarette. He's like, kind of like, then he kind of opens the door and then walks out of the room. You know, so it's like, okay, that was my ending.
Is that the
Yeah.
same one you got, Aaron?
It was, but then I went and I looked up the other endings, or at
Wait,
least
wait,
the
wait,
ones.
wait, wait. Wait, let
But
me say because you might have seen the one that I saw then. So shape. So this is the crazy thing. So he the room is on fire, right? And in this ending, I don't know if it happened in the one that you saw. He's laying on the ground and he's like in hysterics, like he's laughing, like the fucking room is gonna burn, and he's going crazy, basically laying there. The fire department come knock the door in, and they drag him out, and he's all burned and shit, and he grabs the firefighter and pulls him down, and he's like, "Don't go in that room," and he's like, "It's an evil fucking room." And he's like, "Here, we got to get him stabilized." It cuts down to Olin. He's sitting in his office with a cigar and a cup of that liquor they were drinking, and he's like, "Well done, Mr. Inslee. Well done." And then it cuts. There's no like time. Oh, 3 months later, nothing like that. It just shows him now back with his wife because she came upstairs. She was upstairs, or she was trying to get into the hotel. That's what it was. She was trying to get in. I don't know if y'all saw that part when you watched it, where she got stuck in the traffic jam
Yeah,
Mhm.
in the taxi. Okay, so she was in there, and that's when she told him, "Enslin, my husband is here, whatever." So in the ending that I saw, which I think is the theatrical one, uh, he is explaining to her that the room was alive and that Katie was there in the room, and she is like, "There's no way that Katie could be in the room. Like, you're just like you're still dealing with the trauma of having been in that room." And he's like, "I'm telling you, Katie was there, not just talking, but she was there physically." And she doesn't believe it, so she's moving stuff around. They've got an apartment together. They've gotten back together. He's going through his box, that same box that Enslin tried to give her, and he finds his tape recorder. And he hits it a couple times, and it's all like garbled and like as he's talking, and then it cuts to, "Daddy, Daddy, don't leave me." Like, you hear Katie talking to him, and he's like, "No, Katie, no, 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 we'll be a family." Like, he's talking to her, and then his wife is moving a box, and she stops, and she looks over at him while he's got the tape recorder going, and she drops the box because she can't believe what she's hearing, and he kind of looks at her, and he just gives her just like a little smile, black screen, which to me is way more creepy.
Which that was one of the ones that I had seen in like the three that it shoot.
Wait, when you watched it on YouTube, it had 3 endings together?
No, I had to search them up separately.
Okay, good.
But well, my favorite ending is the one where he sacrificed himself, and he was like, I give the dolphin 10 skulls, and then that awesome backdraft, and like, which, because in that one he also like lays on the floor cackling and everything like that, and I think one of the other ending, because there's that one where he just laughs, and then you see the, how you said, like kind of like the blood black ink, baby sheep, um uh go down, and then it cuts to Samuel L. Jackson's character, and then even though he dies, he still says well done. But in the full movie, I think that it doesn't have him saying well done. It just goes to the funeral. and then the one that you were telling me about, it has him surviving, cut, well done, Mr. Enslin, and then him living out the rest of his life.
Without the tape recorder thing?
No, it had the tape recorder thing, how it was all melted and everything like that, like how you said. Excuse me.
But I feel like there's two versions of even that scene where like it doesn't play, so his wife doesn't hear it, so she's skeptical, and then there's the one where she does hear it, and then she can't believe what she's hearing. You know what I mean? Because that whole I'm not gonna lie to you, man. John Cusack, I mean, he always kills it in whatever he's in, but was he in Being John Malkovich? But the uh, the lady who played the mom on Get Out, she was in Being John Malkovich, man. But the him like him sitting there and realizing that he's back in this room, he never got out of the room, and he takes the toothpick out of his mouth. How he get the toothpick if he never got out the room? That is crazy to me. You know what I mean? And then him snapping, yelling that I was out, like it is just phenomenal acting, man. Like,
yeah, and oh my God, how the room like brought in his daughter in the burned down room, because I thought that was really cool foreshadowing. And then he's hugging her and everything like that. She goes limp. He's like, "You can't take her twice." And then the room's like, "Oh yeah," and then just
and
turns her
she
to ash. I
crumbles.
was like, that's fucked up.
And him, but hit like the surprise of him, just like the shock of
He tries to like pull her back together. I was like, oh my God.
the shock of it. Like it's amazing, dude. Like I'm saying though, but see, I like movies like that because sometimes that'll show you the range of like what an actor can do. The smaller the cast, or especially if it's just one person, that's what makes Misery so dope. Aside from the sheriff who comes in and gets his fucking dome blown off, aside aside from that,
what a poet!
like
what a poetic! Oh, I thought that was so funny.
I mean, that's what happened. He got his shit blown off. Like, and but I'm saying the whole movie is just off. It's built off just those two people. You know, just Paul and Andy. You don't see nobody else. Like, you see, his publicist here or there, and then you see the cop. I mean, the sheriff and his wife, and that's it. But the whole movie though is just the two of them. And I'm saying that really it puts in perspective.
I agree.
When you can have such a small cast, it's like I don't know if you ever seen Escape from Alcatraz, but it's kind of a similar thing. It's kind of a similar thing with that. Like,
that just reminds me of Boo from Monsters Inc.
What do you know? It scares little kids and little monsters. I wasn't scared. I have allergies.
Come here.
And like dude, but like how you were saying, like some movies really, like how you said, show you the range because you're having to depend on that setting and a few actors. You know what I mean? So they can't not deliver, kind of thing.
I mean, not aside from, but when you think about, it's completely different when you think about the immersion that's Harry Potter versus like I said, like Nope, where Nope, it's literally like 3-4 characters. You know what I mean? You have a character that's not human, but I'm saying it's like 3-4 characters. Aside from when Jupe and the people at the little exhibit get eaten, you never see more than 4 people on screen at any point in the film. You know what I'm saying? And that makes for a completely different like experience. You know what I mean? It's like surprisingly, it was really good. Mike Tyson's one-man show because
Yes, dude. Yes.
like,
you see how funny, but how vulnerable he is. Like, oh my God.
You wouldn't think that Mike Tyson would be able to do that. You know what I mean? Just knowing, who he was and as a athlete, I mean. And so for him to go through and talk about that shit from him losing all that money to him getting cheated in the Buster Douglas fight to all that stuff. But a lesser person wouldn't have been able to talk about it at all. You know what I mean? So
I mean, it's kind of like how like tying it back into like Stephen King and like the horror like Misery. Like they wanted the author to talk about that, where like not everybody wants to relive that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, for him to do that and as well as like address it with humor to make it more cathartic as well. Like in another life, he could have easily been an actor with that one. Like how I said, like he could not deliver. He was funny, he was emotional, and there was nowhere else for the camera.
are
Like,
you are you talking about in Misery or are you talking about in 1408?
I'm talking about Mike Tyson's
Oh, the one-man show.
one-man show, but it relates to like all three of those stories. Like if you have the setting so small, it becomes like tunnel visioned on one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying too. And you start to see there's little things that you probably you might not notice, like with a bigger like ensemble. Little shit in the background, like you said, the foreshadowing of the room being burned when his daughter came to him. I never even thought about it as foreshadowing, just as much of it was the response from the room being hot earlier and it was cold and like the room was basically crumbled, it deteriorated from the inside out. That's more like how I thought of it, and then too when they like tore all the surrounding walls down and stuff. But that's in my head. That's what I saw, as opposed to it being foreshadowing.
But yeah, that just comes with different people watching the same movie. Like how we notice all kinds of different things.
Well, hey,
Which
you
is why-
see the movie. What did you think of the movie? Tell me about the movie. Yeah.
I think she said it's good.
That's
watch
why
the movie, Daddy. What did you think of the movie?
Yeah.
Was it scary?
Go.
Would you stay in the hotel? Would you stay in 428?
Go.
Go where?
Yeah.
You gonna go there?
he said, "Go."
We're not going to the Dolphin. I can promise you that, old baby shape. We're not
You
going
go
to
to
the
the Dolphin?
Dolphin.
It's saying 1408? Huh? Are you scared of 1408?
Go.
What are
I
you
am.
talking about?
Knuckle.
Michael.
Yeah.
What about Michael?
Chop.
We ain't talking about Michael in this stream.
I think she's shot.
What?
That's you.
I need to come out.
Oh my goodness. Would you calm down?
Okay.
Did you like the movie? Did you think it was a good movie?
What did they do?
Did you like the movie? Did you like the movie? Yes or no?
Go.
No, you didn't like the movie? No? Okay.
I don't know. I thought that was so fun. She was thinking about it. She was like,
The movie was a good movie. It was a good movie. It was a good movie.
No.
No, it wasn't?
No.
You didn't like it?
No.
Why not? Why not? Okay. So, hey, Dad's got to finish this up. So, can you go over there for a bit?
No.
Yes. Go on.
no.
No,
Oh,
she's
man.
not. She don't want to go to bed tonight. So she's been in there
Hey,
crying.
kid,
We're out here.
Please believe me, you'll want to go to bed like all the time when
No.
you're our age. So please,
Oh,
listen to
real
your dad.
shit.
Please.
Like for real, dude. I can't wait to go to sleep sometime. Like look forward to it. I got an alarm set to go to sleep. Like,
Yeah.
what you mean?
I'm not-
Like,
I'm not working when I'm sleeping. I'm chilling.
You know, I don't
Hopefully
get no.
sometime.
Dude, I don't get no. The only time I go to sleep is when I go to bed at night. That's it. I get no naps. I mean, very rarely I'll get a nap during the week. But so I got two kids at home, and then I got my my other daughter that comes in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will pretty much after school and stuff, so I'll have her and stuff. But I really don't get no naps. I mean, like very rarely. I mean, if she passes out, then I may get a nap before I go pick the kids up from school. But I mean that's very rarely anymore.
Well, this brings up an interesting point. What if Mike just took a nap for an hour, would the room be that much of a pain in the ass to like wake him up and be like, no, we're not making this easy for you?
Can you imagine the room being like, fuck, he's sleeping. Wake your
How are
bitch
you-
ass
No,
up.
well,
Like,
no, that's
like,
the thing because I mean, the whole room stayed like hot. It was hot, and he fixed it. The AC going on, and then there's all of a sudden the room like froze everything else. I mean, there was something going to keep him up regardless of anything. If he would have passed out, they would have woke him up with something.
yeah,
That's messed
him
up.
trying to we didn't even talk about this. Him crawling through the ventilation system to get to the next room, and it's him and his wife with the baby in the next room. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
how she looks up, I would have been like, why not just climb down in that room? What if he got out and they'd be like, we didn't think about that.
I mean, if the movie had ended with congratulations, Mr. Insland, you have psychosis, I think that would have been a good enough like dub. Like you just take that dub as the because that's psychological stuff, man.
Go which way?
It's
And
like
then him
it's so beyond.
talking to his, not once but twice, showing him like his dad. Bruh.
Was that his
Uncool.
dad's body in the ventilation system?
No, that was I think that was the old timey like 1920s dude. But I thought that he died like that was one of the things that I was also confused by because he had like the kind of like similar glasses, but like the way that they spoke about him dying is that like it looked like he was pictured like dead like in the room, not in the vent, like but I don't remember it as clear because I mean I've slept since then. But
So do you guys feel like that, like the not establishing shots, but those establishing points of the movie, do y'all feel like you lean in a little bit more to those scenes than you do maybe some of the other scenes? Like, because what I mean is, so that scene where he's breaking shit down to him about the dolphin and and this room in particular, and he's got the book and all that stuff with all the people, their records in it and all that stuff. Like to me, that's one of those scenes. To me, when I'm watching it, I want to catch 1408 when it first come on because I want to see that scene every time because there's something in there that I might hear that I didn't before. Whereas while he's going through the stuff in the room, we kind of know what's going to happen to him once he gets there because if you listen to what Olin told him, you know what's about to happen. Maybe not to the extent of what it did happen, but we knew something was bound to happen. But I'm saying that whole scene, like same thing, going back to Nope of the, you can't tame a super predator, you know what I mean? Like, how he was talking about, like, you're talking about the foreshadowing. At the very beginning, they had that silver ball and they held it up to Lucky, and when Lucky saw his reflection in the ball, it made him buck, right? And he kicked. You know what I mean? And that's when he's like, whoa, get back, get back from behind the horse and stuff like that. And but I'm saying the whole time, you notice once he started training the horses, he never looked them in the eye again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like animals take that as a threat. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna stare down no grizzly bear, bro. You're not gonna just back off. But I'm saying him, breaking all that down. That scene where he's like, see, now that's where Juke got caught up. Juke tried to tame a super predator. That's not what we gonna do, And he's like breaking all that down. It makes you again lean in when they get back to the house after it dropped all the blood on the house, which was gnarly.
Yeah, that was nuts.
When that happened, and they went back to the house the next day, and Antlers was there, and and he was like, he was like, you have a wagon on your roof, and he was like, that cloud ain't moved a goddamn inch. And so he knew something was up. You know what I mean? But I ain't know what. And so I think them having that whole moment where they're breaking down, and, he's like, oh man, we only got a couple days before people, before the news crews start getting out here. We need to get this done. And remember that's when Antlers was like, so which one of us is gonna go out there and get the star out of his trailer? And remember OJ was like, I'll do it. He said he got, he's big, he's bad, he's got spirit. Anything with spirit can be broke. And then Antler's like, well, you break it and I'll get the shot. Like It's scenes like that happen where you got to sit and lean in to be like, yo, like, you know, like what's
Mm-hmm.
you will miss something.
Because I mean, like it's too, like in the case of 1408. Not to say that like there's a bad performance in Nope or anything like that, but I mean, like, because they're all amazing actors, but like having Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack like play off of each other, especially when they're both trying to communicate what they believe is right. Like John Cusack
Yeah.
doesn't really believe in anything other than death. That he's like, I've already seen horrible shit. This room doesn't scare me. And he's like, haven't seen everything, dude. I'm telling you, don't go in. And then it's the
And it's like
unstoppable force meets the immovable object.
Andre versus Hogan.
Yeah.
But then that makes me say to that very point though. The irresistible force meets the immovable object. If you ever watch the match with Hogan and Andre from WrestleMania 3, when they come face to face in the ring, that's what the dude says on the call, Gorilla Monsoon. He said, "The irresistible force meets the immovable object." Like, and they have their face off, whatever. But the like he's telling him, "Don't go in there because all these deaths have happened." Right? Here's the hotel, right? We will happily accommodate you somewhere else in the hotel, whatever the fuck, right? Here's my thing. Olin, you have to take that's not one of those things you just take with a grain of salt. You have to believe him because he's the manager there. He's been there for most of those deaths. A, B, why would he tell you something like that specifically to get you to not take that one room? Like,
Yeah.
No manager is gonna talk you out of spending money in their establishment. That's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But if it's a hazard, hey, sir, we can't let you have that room. We're doing construction next door.
Yeah,
You
he
know what I
could have
mean? Something
easily
would happen.
lied and said that the room is under construction, and then they'd be like, okay, well, how long is it under construction? Yeah, well, I don't know, but like,
Which at least was a problem. Sorry
which
about
like
the shit.
that kind of makes me think that like Olin, if granted, as the elevator is as close as he got to 1408 after the incident with the maid, like, why would he not? I guess maybe like to prevent other people, like have somebody purposely destroy the room like Mike did. Leave the door open, set that freaking place
Because
on fire.
I think I think up until that point, nobody had been as adamant on staying in the room since the last death.
Yeah.
Somebody else might have came in like, "Hey, I want to stay in 14." Oh, he's like, "No." They're like, "All right." You know what I'm saying? Like Mike was insistent on staying in the room. You know what I mean? Like, and the Suicide Squad game look ass. But I'm saying, I think that has a lot to do with it. Like his persistence. You know what I mean? Because at a certain point, it turns into, all right, you gonna learn. You gonna learn. Okay. Keep jumping over that fence where that pit bull is, bro. Go ahead. You gonna learn, dog. Like I told you, you know what I'm saying? Like just because you want to save a little time, you want to take a shortcut. Now there's an unfamiliar dog. You hop the fence and now he's on your ass. You know what I mean? When I told you, nope, take the long way around. Like, it's just how it goes.
Yeah,
You know.
he even told him, like, why don't you stay in a different hotel and pretend it's 1408?
Yeah. Like he was
Well,
giving him every way out. Like,
well, he said 1406 had the same layout and everything. He's like, nobody would know. He's like, I'd know. It's like, oh, it's just like how you said, Don. He's like, you're gonna find out. He was trying to be a real one and literally save his life, but
but it's like even then, it's like, oh well, nobody would know. Oh, but I would know. It's like, do you know how many like big wigs and CEOs and all that shit they tell us nothing but lies so they can get to the dollar bill? Like, why would that matter to you? Like, oh, so now you all of a sudden you got morals. So you got morals, but you hard of hearing because he's telling you don't go in there. Like, make it make sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like Mike is one of those like, like interesting characters where he just can't, leave well enough alone sometimes. You know what I mean? But I think too, he thought, oh well, if I go in this room and I do die, well, first of all, who's gonna finish the book if that happens, right? But that's gonna change the perception even more, like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Mm-hmm. And could you, like, in a messed up way, I'm sure that, like, after Mike Insland's death in that room, his fans probably speculated even more. And of course, after a tragedy, I'm sure that his books sold like hotcakes because there was like, oh, did he leave signs of things like that? And
then how would you even sequelize that to, you know what I mean? Here's 1409, like you know what I mean, like 1408 too. Like how would you even sequelize that? You know what I'm saying?
Nice
because
shit.
that's not creepy. It's like like how do you maintain that into a sequel? I'm saying like it going off the endings where he did live, not the ones
Yeah.
that died.
But I mean, like if he did like die, like how it seems like how some like artists their art skyrockets into popularity after someone's death, like because then you'd have the people that would be like, oh well, Mike Insland was just depressed after his daughter and like he went into the room and killed himself. But then you have people that are like, no, I think that he was corrupted by the room. And then
but that's an interesting point though. Like his depression led him down a room to like to the most haunted place. Every place he went before that wasn't really haunted. And maybe he wanted that as like an excuse for a reason for him to check out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he got killed by this evil room. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's how he wanted to go out. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know what I mean? Like Kurt Cobain wanted to die. It's still up in the air if he shot himself or not. But his goal was to die. But I don't think he shot himself because his fingerprints ain't on the gun. But that was his goal though, was to to cease where he was at that point. But you're right though. Fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit skyrocketed when he died. You know what I'm saying? Bohemian Rhapsody is the only song in history to go to #1 on the Billboard chart 3 different times in 3 different decades. When it came out in 76, when Freddie Mercury died in 91, and 2018 when the movie came out. It went to #1 on the Billboard chart 3 different times. A song from the 70s was #1 on the Billboard in 2018. Because
hey, this so badass song, man. I love that song.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying it's a bad song. Like, it actually real quick. Like, Bohemian Rhapsody, right? So, Aaron, did you have Mr. Nichols at Hickman?
I
Mr.
can't
Nichols,
remember.
his classroom was in the Fine Arts building, the little building right before you got to Dairy
Didn't,
Queen.
sadly.
Okay,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I didn't have it.
So
or at least
he had
not his class.
There was music, there was choir out there, and photography, and band were those were the ones. I'm in his room, and we're talking. He had this thing on the wall, like it wasn't like a wallpaper, it was like a banner almost going around the room of the years of music, starting all the way with like Handel and Tchaikovsky and Mozart and stuff like that, going all the way up to the 1960s had the Beatles, the 70s had Elvis Presley, and Kiss, and it was like different genres of music all the way around to hip hop and where we were at that current point in time, right? So we got to this point where we had to talk about opera music for whatever reason. So at the time, I didn't respect opera. I mean, I love Carmen from Habanera like now, but at the time, so he plays Bohemian Rhapsody. He plays it up to the operatic part, and then he stops it. He doesn't play it beyond that. And then he wanted us to like write about what we heard and all this stuff. And I'm like, this song sucks. Like, what is this? Like, I was so
Like from
mad.
Good Burger. Oh, this song sucks.
Like that's how I felt, right? So then we got to. So when Suicide Squad came out in 2016, remember the commercial had Bohemian Rhapsody. That was playing. And remember, I asked you. We were watching it together. I said, "Dude, can you tell me what this song is? I can't find it." And you were like, "It's Bohemian Rhapsody." The Queen song? You're like, yeah. I was like, No. That's not Bohemian Rhapsody. I've heard Bohemian Rhapsody. That part ain't in there. You were like, did you listen to the whole song? I was like,
Hey.
there's more after the opera part? You was like, yes. Oh, makes more sense. Looked it up, learned how to play it, you know. But like we're sitting in the car, we're driving my grandma home. This was after one day we were watching wrestling, right? You had left and we're taking her home. We're on the way to her house and that comes on and she's singing. I hear her in the front seat just singing, you know, the lyrics to the song. And I'm like, Granny, you know that song? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, how do you know that song? You know, she's like, boy, I listened to the radio in the 70s. What do you mean? I'm like, but I was like, but you know I like rock music, and you never once said, do you listen to Queen or have you discovered their music yet? And I was like, why you be holding out on me, Granny? Like we supposed to be family. Like
Granny
Good.
never ceases to amaze me. She was like, yeah. You're like, okay.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Who wrote the song "Under Pressure"?
It's Queen and David Bowie has had rights to it too.
Wait, what?
Billy Ray Cyrus. Next question.
So Queen, Freddie, Brian May, and David Bowie wrote Under Pressure together.
So David Bowie wrote that too?
Yeah. So 50%. So like, you know, when the publishing came out, 50% went to David Bowie, 50% went to Queen, and then they had to divide that 50 up 4 ways for the members of Queen. Then when Vanilla Ice sampled it, he didn't want to pay the royalty rates for it, so he bought the publishing to Under Pressure. So Vanilla Ice to this day owns Under Pressure. So whether it's Ice Ice Baby or Under Pressure that gets played, he gets paid. Queen and David Bowie don't get paid anymore.
Yeah, I remember that because wait, Vanilla Ice said, "Hey, goes, hey, wait, theirs goes dun 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 dun. Mine goes dun 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 dun." It's like
I remember that dumbass interview. Yeah. No, and that's the thing though with sampling. There was a rule at one point, like if you only sampled like 3 to 5 seconds of it, you wouldn't have to clear it. But then the other artist was like, "No, that's bullshit. Like they taking 5 seconds of my song, I still want to get paid from that kind of thing." So literally, there's a group called Arrested Development. Aaron, you remember we listened to them in the car. They had a song called Tennessee. Take me to another place. Take me to another land. In the song Tennessee, they sampled Prince saying the word Tennessee. There's nothing else. Just him saying the one word Tennessee. He had his lawyers wait. The song was number 3 on the chart, and they were waiting for it to go to number 1 so they could then call and be like, "Yo, we need some money for this." Well, instead of going to number 1, it was at number 3. It dropped to number 4. His lawyers called as soon as it dropped to number 4. It was like, yeah, because they knew the further and further down it goes, the less money we could get. So they were like, "Yo, Prince, you guys sampled this stuff without permission. He wants to be paid for it." He charged him $150,000, which is like best case scenario, because had he wanted writer's credit, that meant he would have got paid off the song. But today, Arrested Development still gets paid for the song. They just had to pay him that one time. You know what I mean? Which obviously is a better deal. You know what I mean? But he could have did them dirty and been like, "No, like I'm taking the writer's credit for this." You know what I mean? Like he could have did them dirty like that. But Shape, what are you thinking for next week, buddy?
I don't know what's going on for next week. To be honest.
Let's
1409.
Let's come on, man. You know what I get into, man. Let's talk. That was really bad. Wow. Let's come on. We talked about it before you watched it.
I was thinking about doing a like top 10 like top 10 like 90s horror.
90s horror?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like 10 90s horror movies, to tell you the truth, but I'm being for real.
We like top 10 80s, top 10 70s,
I
top
think
10 40s, top 10 20s.
Let me see. I think that we should watch Candyman 2 as a group, and we should talk about Candyman 2. Not that we talked about the first one. Did we talk about the first one?
Yeah.
We did a stream about the first one.
Yeah, you were there.
That does not make me remember. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe next week we'll talk about Star Wars. There's a lot of stuff Star Wars coming out next year. So come on, let's talk.
There was
the first one I did, like the first live wherever that's on my chat now was we did a Star Wars one. It was with my brother Demetrius. We did a Star Wars one. That was like the last time we did a Star Wars one. But we talk about Star Wars. If you guys are interested in that. We talk about Harry Potter. We talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, what? So, are we going from Phantom all the way up to Rise, like we did the Harry Potter thing, or are we doing 3 at a time, or like?
Yeah, we can do that.
Like, what?
which one?
We'll do like two movies. We'll start from Phantom and Clone Wars, and then Revenge and New Hope, and then Empire and Return of the Jedi, and then we'll talk about the shitty ones.
You tripping, bro? Like,
wait, what? Oh, I'm tripping, man. Hey.
This is how it starts. Save it for
the Force Awakens was I enjoyed
Force Awakens was fucking heat. Like, what are you talking about?
Wait, The Last Jedi sucked.
Last Jedi was ass.
Part of it, yeah.
Last Jedi was ass. Like,
Last Skywalker too.
Nick
Skywalker sucked.
Nick.
Especially when she at the end of the movie. Who are you? I'm Rey. Rey who? Rey Skywalker. I was like, you ain't no damn Skywalker, bitch. You a Palpatine, ain't no Skywalker.
So if this gentleman here
we go
with the red hair was adopted by my family, his last name would then be Williams. What else would be like? Oh, you ain't no Williams, bitch.
There was no papers on it. She was not adopted. She was not adopted.
Did you think
trained by 2 Skywalkers? That was it. Technically, a Skywalker and Organa. Barely even Skywalker.
But no, wait. No. Leia's last name is Skywalker.
No, her last name was Organa. She took
I know. Yo. Chill. I know how the story goes, bro. Like Bail Organa, yeah, like we've always wanted a little girl, and they took Leia, which is how her name became Organa. Otherwise, her name is Skywalker because she is a twin. Yes, like come on, bro. Like,
yeah, but still, I get like we also like we're gonna do call Kylo Kylo Ren what Ben Skywalker? No, it's not Ben Skywalker. It's Ben Solo. Ben
because of who his dad is. Why?
Exactly.
Like that's exactly what it is. Like
but so her last name is Organa. Even though she is technically a Skywalker, she's still an Organa. But again, there was no adoption. She was just trained. Okay, I was trained. Okay, I was trained.
Where's the paperwork?
I was trained by Dale Shuganaga. CA Dale Shuganaga. If I go change my last name from Aguilar to Shuganaga because my master taught me Kung Fu, so I'm gonna take his last name, Shuganaga. No, that ain't happening.
Well, that's your opinion. But that doesn't mean there ain't people out there who do that, bro. Like, what did you say? I disagree. But I'm saying
Palpatine.
No, that's bullshit because there's nobody else in the whole Star Wars franchise with the name Palpatine. No. Like, that makes no sense.
Yes, there is. Palpatine. Palpatine is the last name.
No, I know that. Yeah, his name is Sheev Palpatine. See, you think I don't know? I know what I'm talking about. I'm saying there's no. That's his first name, but there's nobody else in the.
No
Star
wonder
Wars
he went by otherwise. I am Sith Lord Sheev. They'd be like, "Get out of here before we nuke your ass."
Hey, what did nigga say?
Wait, his Sith name is Sidious.
His name is
Dolph.
No shit.
But his real name is Sheev. Like,
yeah, Sheev Palpatine.
No. So what I was saying though is okay. So you have the.
That is amazing.
You're talking. You never knew that, Aaron? That's hilarious.
No.
But so the way that you're talking about, oh, there's no paperwork like out there in space. We talking about a movie that never took consideration of every planet they go to. There's somehow oxygen there for them to breathe. They ain't never once come to Earth, but they on every planet there's oxygen for the humans and aliens to breathe.
It's
No, ain't nobody walking around with
galaxy
aluminum.
far away.
No,
Yeah.
no, and no, because that does not make sense. They be going to moons and all kind of shit, and you're not going to tell me that the atmosphere is the same on every single one of these places they go to. No, I'm not. No, I'm not buying that one. You telling me, like you telling me that?
I like that meme where it's like Skywalker says, "You're on this council. We're not Greg either, Rachel Skywalker."
Like, did you see that one where it was it was him, it was Anakin in like a classroom, right? And he was in a classroom, and it was Mace Windu, and he was passing something to Anakin, and he was like, "What is this?" And it was a credit card, but it was a MasterCard, and he was like, "It's something that you do not have." Like, like I'm saying, man, I think like Star Wars. I don't know what Aaron's like opinion on it is. I don't know that he's seen all 9 movies, but like I would
haven't seen
say,
Attack of the Clones.
really.
Mm-mm.
Man, when y'all saw that picture where I found my VHSs in the storage room the other day, I got Attack of the Clones on VHS. It's actually fucking crazy. Like when that movie came out, dude, I had the one character that I liked for whatever reason was Jango Fett. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah,
so Shape, answer me this:
armor, man, that Mandalorian armor.
when he gets decapitated, does his head come out of the helmet when that happens? Huh?
No, it's still at the helmet.
That's not true though, because when they showed the helmet, it's empty.
When?
Remember they show the helmet after he gets decapitated and the helmet hits the ground, they show the bottom of the helmet and there's nothing inside the helmet.
I don't think I ever saw that.
It was in Attack of the Clones. You know when they're having the big fight after R2 had got one of the little droid heads put on him, and remember there was there's like the conveyor belt shit where Padme and Anakin was on the conveyor belt thing, and then Yoda comes in with Mace Windu, and they come in with the ships and stuff, and they're fighting.
Yeah, when you see like Qui-Gon or not quite, when you see Mace Windu like chop his head off, you see the helmet go, but you don't really see underneath it. You see like rolling down that on the ground. It just rolls and stops. Then you go, but that's kind of messed up though. Because you got to think about, man. I'm kind of hoping the head did come out of the helmet because you got Boba Fett picking up that helmet and like going to his dad and stuff. It's like, man, he's got
Sheev Palpatine, everybody.
Like drill it out. You know what I mean? So because Boba Fett uses dad's helmet, so can you imagine like he like dig his dad's own head out of that helmet? Oh man,
isn't the dent on the helmet from when he got shot by Lando?
No, that dent, the dent on the helmet is actually from when he got shot. Like, okay, so there's actually
I'm talking Boba. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Boba Fett, right? Yeah, Boba Fett. So basically, Boba Fett and Cad Bane actually they had a duel together, and that's when to see who had the fastest draw, and basically Boba and Bane shot each other. But basically, Boba got Bane, and Bane got Boba. And basically, that's how he got that dent in his.
That's what the dent's from.
Yeah.
So then, so what's I see people saying that the dent came from when he got shot before he fell into the Sarlacc pit. Like, so is there another dent or?
No, that's basically that's what they're talking about. Is that one dent right there that was actually from Cad Bane.
Weird.
But honestly, I don't know because we don't know what's canon and what's legends.
That's true too. Like
because ever since Disney took over Star Wars, everything now there's legends now. There's no more canon, there's legends.
Didn't it so before Disney took over, wasn't it that the different lightsaber colors actually meant something? Like if you had this color, it meant you did this. If you had this color, it meant you did this. Versus just anybody just get pretty much whatever color they want now and just
okay. So basically, George Lucas stated that there was only supposed to be 3 colors: the red for the Sith Lords, and then blue and green for for the Jedi.
But
But
there wasn't supposed to be green originally.
so there's only put 3 colors apparently, like blue. What? Hey, what? Hang on, give me a second. So
Maybe
you
shape
got
is important.
red, blue, and green. That was it. But Samuel Jackson said, "Hey, what are lightsaber colors, George?" He's like, "Well, we got red for the bad guys, and then blue and green for the good guys." And he's
Yeah,
like,
and he said, I want a purple one. Yeah.
"Can I get purple?" He's like, "You can have purple." And so that's how he got purple. But then, of course, when you get to the lightsaber colors, purple actually means that you are balanced between the light and the
Light
dark.
and the dark. Yeah.
That's why Darth Revan has the purple lightsaber. All right, let's go. Come on.
But what I'm saying though is, okay,
Come on.
Aaron, you've seen the last trilogy, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, excuse me. Like, I mean, I feel like personally, they took the easy way out with bringing Palpatine back and having him be the villain or whatever the case, right? You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, I feel like they took the easy way out with that. Yes, I do agree with that. And seeing the internal conflict between Ben, Kylo and Ben, you know what I mean? But to tell you the honest to God truth, what I really, really was banking on was, man, I really fucking wanted, I wanted there to be, okay, so you seen uh Empire Strikes Back?
Yes.
Okay. In Empire Strikes Back, when there's that part where um Luke is, he's doing his training and everything, and you see he's doing his training, and I can't remember what he was saying to Yoda, but he goes and like walks off. You know what I mean? Like when he goes and walks off, he goes into that tunnel, and then Vader is coming at him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Vader is coming at him, and then he just like like he just starts swinging, just like defending himself, and Vader is swinging back, but he cut off Vader's head, and then the helmet was on the ground, and when the helmet opened, it was Luke's face.
Yes, I do remember.
Okay, so you remember I want to say it was Last Jedi and not Rise, where there was kind of a similar scene like that with Rey, where like she saw like a bunch of like clones of herself, basically, right? You know the scene I'm talking about?
Yep.
Right. She just kept, it was just like a mirror image of herself, and like everything she did.
That was Last Jedi.
That was Last Jedi. Okay, so there was that, right? To me, that was that version of the scene from Empire. But I was hoping and banking on, at that moment, that was going to take her down a different path where her and Ben were going to switch places, where she became the villain and he became the Jedi. Like, that's what I really was like banking on. Like, I just thought that would have been super cool to see. But but to what you were saying, Shay, what I know is y'all know that show called Graham Norton?
No.
That's the British dude that
Vaguely,
he got a talk show in Britain. It's where the celebrities be sitting on that orange couch.
Mm-hmm.
They be sitting on an orange couch. And so he had Sandra Bullock on, and he had Samuel Jackson, and he was asking him like, how did you get the purple lightsaber and stuff? And he was like, he said I went to George, and I was like, can I have purple is my favorite color. Can I have a purple lightsaber? And he was like, he said George Lucas told him at the time, a lightsaber is either red or they're blue. And he said, I was like, yeah, but I want a purple one. And and he's like, well, I'll get back to you. So he said when he got to set the next day, he said George Lucas pulled him aside and was like, here, I want to show you this now because it's already causing a shitstorm online. And he gave him the hilt, and when he turned it on, it was purple. And so Graham Norton gave him there's the toy ones you get out of Walmart. Then there's like the $250 ones that actually light up and make the sounds and shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
He gave him one of those, and so he was doing like, how they be like spinning the lightsabers like around their wrist and stuff, like, so he was doing all that. Sandra Bullock was talking about how her son, she was like, my son, he loves Star Wars. He would love to have, something like this. And Samuel Jackson said, he does. And he gave her the lightsaber, and she was like, oh no, I can't take this. He said no, go ahead, take it. He said I have the original one at home that has bad motherfucker written on the hilt, like the wallet from Pulp Fiction. So on the original one, it has BMF on it, like his wallet did. But
that's so cool. Could you imagine?
cool?
Like here, take it.
Shape the. So is it not true then that George Lucas said that he couldn't keep up with Luke's lightsaber against the sky when the scene where they killed Jabba, and so that's the only reason he changed it green, because he couldn't keep up with it, right? So, but I'm saying, so had that not happened, there would be no green lightsabers; they would only be blue, right?
Yeah.
So,
but basically, like when it comes to lightsaber colors now, I mean, even before Disney took over, there's basically you had the Jedi Guardians had blue lightsabers. Then you had the Jedi Consorts, they had green lightsabers. And then of course you got the Sith Lords who had the red lightsabers because they bleed their crystals.
They bleed the crystal,
which makes it red. And then you also have yellow lightsabers, which I can't remember what the whole thing about the yellow lightsabers were. And then you also had the purple lightsaber, which means that with the purple lightsaber, you were in tune with the light and the darkness, so you had the balance. So you could do both. And that's why Mace Windu is basically his main form was a pod. It was basically him using the dark side to able to basically like kind of drain the Sith Lord he was fighting of his power because he used a pod. Though also too, but he's got the purple lightsaber. You also have pure white lightsabers, which is basically purifying the crystal and making it turn white.
Two things. One, why does Grievous cough so much? And two, with Grievous, isn't he like good enough where like he's good enough at what he does that he can mimic you almost like strike for strike? Because isn't there a story where, I mean, I know it's not in the films, but where him and Mace Windu had a fight and he basically was like mimicking Mace, like with all of his movements, to where Mace Windu had to realize like he had to use a different form of lightsaber mastery to beat him because he was copying what he was doing so well.
So basically, John Grievous with kind of the droid programming and everything else. And I mean, yeah, he's kind of like still a person, a being, right? Because not really, he's a cyborg because of the one race he was, and basically just had. But the thing is, he knows every single lightsaber combat. So if you whatever form you use, he can match your form. But the only thing is, he cannot judge Form 1 because Form 1 it has like unpredicted moves, and that's why he can't really counter against Form 1. That's why Kid Fisto in the Clone Wars he was able to use Form 1, and it kind of like got John Grievous all balanced when he used Form 1. Also, see, this is why I don't want you to have that. And the reason why John Grievous coughs in episode 3 is because Mace Windu actually crushed. So when they had the siege on Coruscant, when they kidnapped the Chancellor, and basically like he's about to face Mace Windu, and Mace Windu reached out the Force and like basically crushed his whole body,
like his chest, like around his heart and stuff.
Yeah, and that's why he's coughing because he still has organic organs in the armor. He still has that.
Yeah.
In a way, that's what George Lucas said, that General Grievous was supposed to mimic basically what Darth Vader would become.
So it's not the fact that it's like it's bad pieces, you know, like not bad pieces, but like the pieces that are used aren't the newest, you know what I mean? It's like they almost use old parts on him, and that is why he's coughing. That doesn't have anything to do with it. No, like the pieces of his armor being old is if you got crushed.
Yes, do you got Disney Plus?
Yeah.
They should have the old cartoon Clone Wars in there. There's only 2 volumes, only 1 and volume 2. They should have the old Clone Wars on. If you watch the last Clone War one of the volume 2 one of the original Clone Wars cartoon.
You said the last episode, you mean? Like you said the last one of volume 2. So the last episode of volume 2? You mean?
No, it's actually there's only volume 1 and volume 2, and they're basically like volume 1 is basically like a whole, because when Cartoon Network had the first Clone War ones, before we got the new ones that came out with the seasons or whatever, there was actually only like a I want to say like a 10-minute like short they did on the Cartoon Network to leading up to Revenge of the Sith. So they only have like 10-minute like little episodes, but they put them all together in basically like one volume. So you got one volume 1 and volume 2. That's it. So if you go to volume 2 and you go if you watch the whole volume 2, if you want to just kind of fast forward to the end, and you'll see where basically John Green is about to face Mace Windu, fight him, and Mace Windu reached out with the Force and crushed him.
Is Mace Windu voiced by Samuel Jackson on the cartoon?
I don't think so. No.
So is Billy D the only one that he does the voice? He's the only one that it's him in live action and the voice on the cartoon.
I also really don't know, to be honest.
Because even in the video game, even in Battlefront, when the characters are talking, a lot of them sound. I think a lot of them they've just ripped like the lines from the movie and put it in the the game. But I can say when Vader talks, it is definitely James Earl Jones's voice, but it's like it's you can tell it's chopped from the movies and stuff. And
yeah,
then,
I know. Well, actually, no. Actually, the voice for Darth Vader is like somebody else that did in the Rebels.
On Battlefront 2?
In Rebels and the games, actually, there's actually a different voice. James Earl Jones only does a voice for Vader in the movies, and he actually did the voice for Vader in the Ahsoka.
But that's what I'm telling you. They ripped the voice lines, him talking from the movie, and that's what's in the game. That's what I'm saying. You cannot hide forever. He is as clumsy as he is stupid. Those are lines directly from the movie. And I'm saying the same thing with Rey, because Daisy Ridley's voice is very unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I was saying, the point I was making is Lando's voice, like it's Billy D. Williams, because anything related to Lando, he's always doing. And so you can tell that it's actually him because he just, how you doing, you old pirate? Like you can tell that it's Billy D's voice. And as much as you don't like the new trilogy and all that, you can't tell me that it wasn't a cool moment when they were like, oh, how did you find us? And he took off his helmet and he's like, Wookiees tend to stand out in the crowd. Like you can't tell me that moment you weren't like,
Hey, I like that meme. Where he's like, hey, can I get the Falcon back? And Han Solo's like, over my dead body. And also you see Lando at the end, basically in the Falcon like laughing.
Yeah, that's funny. See, and that's the thing too. Like,
yes, we're gonna go. We gotta go.
Aaron, what do you think of Lando?
I think Lando's dope, especially from what I saw, like with Solo. Like, I think that how, like, from what I remember, people are like, oh, he gave them up to Vader. Like, it's not like he really had a choice.
Like, because remember, he was like, what did he say? He said, what did he say? He said these weren't the conditions that you told me, nor was giving hand to this bounty hunter. And Vader turned around and was like, you think you're being treated unfairly? And he was like, no. And he was like, good. It would be unfortunate if I would have to leave a garrison here. Like, like
it's an illusion of choice. It's either you give me what I want, or I torture or kill you. That's really hard to pick.
You're not gonna tell me that scene wasn't fire though in Empire. When Solo sees Vader and he takes out the gun to shoot him, and Vader's like deflecting the shots, and he pulls the gun from him. You would be honored if you would join us. Like like that's so cool. And you see Boba come out the cut. Like, Shape. So do you know? Shape.
You be quiet.
Do you know anything about Bosk? Is he in the cartoon a lot, or no?
Bosk.
Yeah.
Which one was Bosk again? See the bounty hunter?
Bosk, yeah, the lizard looking.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know.
You see him real quick in Empire Strikes Back.
He does make an appearance. He does make an appearance in the Clone Wars. He does make an appearance in the Clone Wars. I don't know if he makes an appearance. I think he might make a couple appearances in Rebels. But that's it, though.
Bosk. There's that scene in Empire Strikes Back. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
where Vader's talking to all the bounty hunters and he's like, no disintegrations. You know what I'm talking about? And
Yeah.
Bosk is standing there with his gun, you know, and he's kind of like looking down, like he's an annoying character to deal with in the game. But hearing, you don't see him in the movies, and the game is the only media I know him from. So that's why I just wondered, was there more like kind of on him?
No, I mean, like I say, he's in Rebels. I mean, he's in the Clone Wars because basically because in the Clone Wars you do see Boba Fett getting into the bounty hunter guild and stuff. You do see that when he's younger and trying to finish this bounty hunter. You see the boss in there with him and Cad Bane and everything else. So yeah, so I mean, he's in the Clone Wars, but I mean he don't make like too big of a whole episode of just him. You know what I mean?
So the what I wanted to ask
It's like in the Clone Wars. You see Chewbacca in the Clone Wars. Chewbacca makes experience in the Clone Wars. I think Han Solo made him like a little appearance when he was a kid in the Clone Wars, I believe.
Okay, see, you just said what I was gonna say. So two things. One with the character the Wookiees. Why are the Wookiees so like, I don't know if aggressive is the right word, but why are they like, you know, so aggressive like that and just like loud and like just, you know, like I said, I can't think of a better word to use than them being aggressive.
I don't think they're really aggressive. They're only aggressive when they're being provoked.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, again, when they get mad, they get really aggressive. To be honest,
Well, Chewie's really loud. You know,
I mean, he's loud. That's how, I mean, that's how they are. There's like they kind of like dogs, man. Like, you know how dogs start barking and stuff like that. That's basically how Wookiees are in a way. Because I mean, even when they're like they're calm and stuff, you see like Chewbacca like kind of real stuff like, but when stuff happens, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
God damn it. Stop it now. You need
the way he hit the, God damn it! Like, Aaron, did that happen to you? Like, Aaron, you saw like Aaron, you saw Cherry like
you okay?
on like a curtain or something, and you were like, God damn it! Like, did you have that same moment, Aaron?
But well, yeah, we're going to talk more about Star Wars next week. We'll start with the Phantom Menace with that, and also too, you guys need to watch the Clone Wars too.
Totally, like when she wakes me up in the middle of the night where I'm laying.
We also have the Clone Wars TV show, Rebels, Ahsoka. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about for Star Wars.
Right, and so that's what I'm saying. So we'll do the movies first, and then come back around with the other stuff.
Yeah, we can do that. We do the movies first, and then talk about the TV shows.
So, question: do you want to talk about Kenobi and like A New Hope together?
Yeah, we can.
Then, rather than doing like 4 or 5 together or 3, 4, whatever you said.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Aaron, Kevin James is on the Tonight Show. He's bald now. He big ass egg head. He looked like Humpty Dumpty. Let's see. So, Aaron, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you all hear me? My connection was really bad for like 30 seconds to a minute.
Oh, okay. So you're just lagging. No, I was going to say this real quick before we sign off. So Shape, is it Han or is it Han?
Han.
It's Han.
Han.
Aaron,
Han.
It's Han.
It's Han.
It's Han.
Solo.
Han Solo.
Han. Okay, Mr. M. Night Shyamalan.
It's Han Solo. Like
it's Han.
It's Han. Why?
Here's my thing. The only reason why Leonard Curry said Han.
Why would you ask
is
this?
because he was being
like
chosen.
He called him that before Chewie was choking him, number one. And number two, how come after he says Han, then Leia and everybody else starts saying Han?
It's Han.
That's not what I asked you.
It's Han.
That's not what I asked you though. See, you have no answer.
Anyway, but like I said, we do got wrapped up. This one here is getting in some trouble. So, but
Oh,
like I said, we'll go ahead and talk about Star Wars next week, guys. Episodes 1 and episode 2, the prequels.
Okay, so Aaron, if you got Disney Plus, they're on there, and they have the Star Wars. They got the, you know how they got like Star Wars,
Collections.
Marvel, all Pixar, all that. When you click Star Wars, they got it in chronological order.
Cool.
The movies, so you'll be able to check that out.
And then you also got 7 seasons of the Clone Wars, and I think 3 or 4 seasons of Rebels, and you also have
Which one is it?
2 seasons of The Mandalorian and 1 season of the Book of Boba Fett. You also have 1 season of Kenobi, and you also have 1 season of Ahsoka. You also have Andor, which
nobody's watching all that shit. But
Yeah,
we
there's
talked about Rogue
shit ton
One
of
and
shit.
we could do a separate. We could talk about Rogue One and Solo. So
Solo's really good, man. What you were saying? I forgot what I was gonna say, but you were talking about the Clone Wars thing. Is it the Clone Wars? Is it Rebels? Which one's the one where Maul and Savage tried to jump Palpatine and he like mopped the fucking floor with them in a good like minute and a half? Like that was Clone Wars. Okay, so did they jump him because they was trying to be the new Master Apprentice? That's why they jumped, because they called rule of 2 thing.
Technically, yes and no. I mean, pretty much Maul was like master, and he wanted to basically get back to being by Sidious's side. Sidio's like, actually, I see you more as a rival, and they started fighting, and then yeah.
He said that he's more. I thought that he was the apprentice of. You said he's a master. I thought he was the apprentice of.
He was the apprentice of Darth Sidious, but then Darth Sidious believed in him to be dead after he got cut down by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
But he couldn't be.
But then he survived. And then, of course, spoiler for Aaron, since you guys seen the Clone Wars. Then Savage was recruited by basically Count Dooku.
Savage is his brother.
Brother. But then, of course, again, he was betrayed by Count Dooku along with the Asajj Ventress. So then basically they say, hey, your brother is still out there. So then he goes and finds Maul, brings it back to basically his mind, everything else back together. And then, of course, they go on to basically control the whole crime syndicate of the galaxy and become like that's what they called was it Dawn? Something Dawn. Crimson Dawn.
What is their species called? Real quick, Shay.
They're Zabrex. What's their species?
I can't. Yeah, I feel like the little troopers when you have for like Galactic Assault and stuff in the game, you could pick one of them. They're like instead of like red and black, they're like pink. They have like a pinkish kind of color. In the
they have regular skin color, but then I guess when they turn Sith or whatever, they get their different colors, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it changes. Is that why Savage was yellow and then Maul was red?
Yeah, I believe so.
Interesting. So, okay, yeah. So, Aaron, yeah, definitely check it out, bro. As always, man, I thank you for having me. I'm glad the Bluetooth thing worked out. I'm working on getting a cable so I can, like with a microphone, so I can plug it back in. But now that I know this works, I could do this. It had a short in it, and I couldn't hear on the right side. I can only hear on the left. So, yeah, I got the wireless thing going. But yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anytime, guys. You guys got anything to say before you head out?
No. Sleep well, everybody.
I'm gonna get more videos coming now. Go past the holidays and all that good stuff. So yeah, man, it's all love, man. I appreciate Larry coming through. Aaron, you got to meet Larry. We'll set that up at some point. But yeah.
All right, guys. Again, 1408 is a good movie. I enjoyed it. So hopefully you guys can watch it and enjoy it. And also, too, don't forget to check out the alternate endings, too. Anything else? Oh, hang on. We do have one comment before we head out.
What you give it, Shape?
I'll give 428. I'll give 428 an 8. 8 out of 10.
That's what I was going to say. What about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I'd probably say an 8 too.
Okay.
Mr. Victor Crowley says, I'm making a RZH2 custom right now. Are you doing the dream sequence or the Hobo Myers? I did the dream sequence for Halloween last year. So. But again, everybody, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoy. And again, everybody, we'll see y'all next week for the Star Wars, starting Star Wars. And also, too, guys, don't forget to keep a lookout for next week too, when I release again my first video. I guess first video ever of like my new thing. I'm gonna try to start doing is the what if stories. So it's already got this one already planned out. Like I said, it's called basically what did Michael Myers want at the end of Halloween Ends? Like what does he want?
Oh, yeah, man. I never hit send on the message. I was meant to tell you that it was pretty good when you had sent me the. Did he send it to you, Aaron? The audio of like you didn't send it to Aaron?
Nice,
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Little baby shape.
Oh, he's going to do the dream sequel. Nice. If you, I don't know if you've seen any of my videos, or whatever, because I actually did tips on the costume too. I did for Halloween. I actually did the dye and everything else, and the blood, and everything else I used, everything like that. If you want to check it out, Victor, I said there's basically videos like I did, so you want to check those out.
Yo, that's when the dream. That's when Lori was having that dream in the hospital.
Yeah.
When you say dream sequel, okay. Just check it.
But again, everybody, thank y'all for joining us, and of course, love each and one of you guys. And we're actually only like 4 away from basically the halfway mark to 2,000 subscribers. We're going to pretty much only 4 away to hitting 1,500 subscribers, and like I said, everything's pretty good. Like I said, but again, like I said, I appreciate each and one of you guys. And again, when we hit 2,000 subscribers, I'm going to do another big giveaway. So I said once we hit that 2,000, we'll do another big old giveaway. But again, everybody, thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. And always remember, everybody, say it. The shape is always in the shadows. Always. Later, everybody.
Love.